And we are back. Happy Tuesday, show number 99, Big Bill.
Wow, 99.
We've got one more show after this, and we're going to do a big party after that
Thursday.
show. So yes,
Thursday is show 100.
Show 100. Congratulations to us.
If it's not raining, and certainly don't expect it to be, I got a really good idea of the patio that I will be having a frozen margarita with salt, or a double Woodford on the rocks, or a Shiner blonde in a dirty glass. Just all kind of options there. But where I will be joining you online for the celebration of show 100.
Yes, after show number 100 airs, we will do a traditional show just like this for show 100. After show 100 airs, we will do a Facebook Live for 15 or 20 minutes and visit with you guys and maybe chat, answer some questions, just celebrate show 100. We invite you to join us for that. Join us as we celebrate our show 100. Hopefully we get a lot of people. The only concern I have is that we release the show at 3 o'clock, but anybody can watch it at any given time. So I don't know that we have a big audience at 3 o'clock necessarily, but if you're watching this at any time of the day or night, please join us this coming Thursday just after the show for a special 100th show celebration where we're going to do a Facebook Live. So you can find us on Facebook at Investor Guys Podcast. What do you want to talk about today there, Bill?
Well, we talk about markets all the time, and we talk about specific markets. And one of the things that Kevin and I do when we look at a particular market, we don't rope ourselves into just being in this little bitty market, even if it's a big market, this little bitty market that is our hometown. We invest in other markets. Now, there's a process that you have to go through and look at another market to understand the markets. When we do 3-day events, sometimes I'll take as much as a half a day on this is how to dissect the market. So we're not certainly going to be able to take care of all of that in a 25-minute podcast. However, we are going to give you some things to look at a particular market, and do not limit yourself to just where you are. However, when you go to another market, go in prepared. So one of the things that I like to look at in a particular market is I want to know what's going on job-wise. So I can go to things like census.gov, and I can also go to the Chamber of Commerce for that particular area. You can also look at some things like a lot of the big traditional flagship real estate brokerage firms like Keller Williams, like Century 21. You can go to some of those for that city, and a lot of times they will have very general information about the city. And typically they'll give you a good overview of what the economy is like in that city and what it's based on and how strong it's doing. But Chamber of Commerce, and then you can also go to the city or county website, and usually on the homepage, you can get redirected to some information about the economy for that market. So I want to know how the jobs are doing. If it's got a good, strong job market, we've got a pretty good shot that the real estate market's going to be excellent. So that's one of the top things I look at, Kevin. How about you?
I'm going to approach this from a slightly different angle. Our last show that we did Thursday, we talked about Rochester. And Rochester is an area where I invest. I've got 43 properties. We showed you numbers, actual numbers. We showed you actual properties on realtor.com. I didn't have any actual properties of my own to show you. I don't want people just jumping in and buying properties off of realtor.com in Rochester because we said it was a great area. I mean, it is a great area, but without knowing what you're doing, just Kevin and Bill talked about Rochester. I'm going to start buying in Rochester. There's more to it than just knowing that Rochester is a great market. And I'm going to give you some examples. I pulled some slides. One of my absolute favorite places to invest is Cleveland, and I do Section 8 in Cleveland, and we use slides on Thursday to show Rochester. I'm going to show you some slides to demonstrate a point on Cleveland, and the reason being is if you've been in the investing game, whether you've invested or not, if you've been in the investing game, you've talked to people at real estate meetings, you've heard about Cleveland as a place to invest your money. Now, if you talk to enough people, you'll meet people who say Cleveland is awesome. I love Cleveland. You'll also talk to people who say, you know what, I lost my pants in Cleveland. And who's right and who's wrong? Is Cleveland a great place to invest, or are you going to lose your pants if you invest in Cleveland? So I'm going to give you some real world examples right now. Now, on Thursday, I showed you guys, and of course I don't have it up, so I'll pull it up on the break. The actual numbers that we have for the city of Cleveland for real estate, for Section 8 payments. But these are the types of properties that I am looking at in Cleveland, and look at these prices. Okay. So this is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Now this says 4-bedroom, 2-bath, but I don't know if you noticed there at the top, there is a 3rd floor. Okay. If you see the property right next to this, see how deep it goes? This one goes just as deep. All right. There's enough room up there for another 2+ bedrooms. I will put an additional 2 bedrooms up there. It'll cost me less than a few $1,000s to do. Okay. All in, I'm still talking about less than $55,000 to purchase this property with closing costs and everything else. Okay. And when we get back from this next break and I show you this slide, you're going to understand why I invest in Cleveland. Let me show you guys another quick property, and then we will jump into that break so that I can show you the Section 8 numbers. I literally had it on the computer. I don't know what happened to it. It's just jumped away from me. This is another property. These are the exact types of properties that we look at in Cleveland. Price on this one is $59,900. Again, 6 bedrooms, 2.5 bath. I can tell you exactly because I know these properties like the back of my hand. They either put in an additional half bath on the 3rd floor for those 2 bedrooms, or they put one in the basement. Let's jump into a break. We're a tad bit early, but I want to pull that slide up because when you look at these numbers with the numbers that we can get from Section 8 in Cleveland, you're going to start seeing why Kevin invests in Cleveland. But then we're going to talk about why you need to know what you're doing before you go into any market. So let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Thanks, everybody.
11 months out of the year, Bill and I host real estate buyers events in cities like Cleveland, Ohio, where we ourselves invest and see great returns. We show investors the types of strategies we're using, the types of properties we're using. We introduce them to people here on the ground and the resources that they can use to get started right away. Day 4 of this event, we're actually touring properties and making offers on properties. This event was designed to put properties in your portfolio right away, high-performing properties. Read more about the Real Estate Buyers event. Get registered. We'll see you at the next event, realestatebuyersevent.com. My name is Kevin Mills. I have put together the absolute most comprehensive and complete real estate investor training program that I am going to stand behind it with a double your tuition back guarantee if it does not make you a millionaire. The program is called Millionaire Blueprint. In fact, we call it the Guaranteed Millionaire Blueprint. If you take this course and you follow exactly what we teach you in this course, I guarantee that you will be a real estate millionaire, or I will give you double your tuition back. Read more about our guarantee, read more about this program, and even sign up for the next event at www.guaranteedmillionaireblueprint.com. That's guaranteedmillionaireblueprint.com. And we're back, and just before the break, I actually had a slide pulled up, but it was hiding behind one of the other ones. This is the real numbers. I literally just pulled this up just before the show. This is for the Cleveland Metropolitan Housing Authority. If you look at the numbers on the right, okay, that column corresponds with the numbers on the left for bedrooms. This is what the payment standard, the standard payment for the Cleveland Metropolitan Housing Authority, that's HUD for Cuyahoga County, okay, is per bedroom for Section 8. Okay. Now these numbers have actually gone up. I actually use lower numbers for my calculations because I'm I'm lagging. Okay. So this is actually better. And I'm glad I have a property manager that keeps up with this stuff. So what are we looking at for a one bedroom apartment? Actually, most of the things we're looking at 6 bedrooms. So it's gonna be 2 bedrooms and 4 bedrooms, but a 1 bedroom is $704. Okay. So we can base, a 1 bedroom is $829. We can base our numbers using I use a standard of about $400 to $600 per bedroom. Okay. And sometimes I'll even go as low as $200 because I know that my minimum voucher amount is going to be about $200. Okay. Now we just looked at a 6 bedroom that was under $60,000. And most of the properties that we look at when we go on the buyer's event are going to be in that $60,000 range. Real quick, Bill, because I know you're good with this in your head. Okay. We're talking about a 2 bedroom and a 4 bedroom combined. So 1,017 plus 1,398 is going to give us how much?
That's going to give us 2,415.
Okay. So 2,415 times 12, about $50,000, right? $50,000. And let's do our numbers really quick on one of these properties.
2,415 times 12 will be closer to 30,000, not 50.
30,000 for
2,415 on 10 months is 24,150. You'll add another $5,000 to that, so you'll be at 29 and change.
Okay.
For the year.
So for a 6 bedroom, let me pull that 6 bedroom back up. And the ones that I'm pulling up that are 4 bedroom, these are because I would buy these at 4 bedrooms and I would complete the attic for an additional 2. So this is a 6 bedroom, actual 6 bedroom available right now. I pulled this up today on realtor.com. $60,000 essentially for this property. Let's say all in, we're paying about $600 for our mortgage. We're paying $240 a month for property management. All in, let's say we're about $1,000. Okay. What was that number again? Our monthly number?
24 and change on the monthly.
Okay.
And for the yearly, a little under 30,000, 29 and change.
Okay. So let's go with 2,400 and we're taking out $1,000 on our cost. All right. Our monthly profit is still 1,400. Okay. So 1,400 times 12 is
16,800.
1680.
16,800. Yep.
Okay.
Not 1680, 16,800.
16,800.
Yep.
Okay. 16,800. How much should we put down on this property to buy it, Bill?
By the time we did this, we're probably putting 13,000. Time we close it out, we're probably at 65. So probably putting 13,000 down.
So what is our return on investment on this particular property?
Yeah.
Over 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. It's over 100% every single year.
Right. Now, here's our caution. Okay. You guys are watching us. We're giving you these numbers. We're showing you these properties. These are real numbers. These are real properties. This is what we invest in. Okay. But do you know what markets, what neighborhoods to buy in? Do you know what neighborhoods not to buy in? Now, you'll see me looking at properties that are 69. You'll jump on realtor.com and you'll see properties in Cleveland or East Cleveland that say 15,000. You're like, well, Kevin can make this kind of money with $60,000. What kind of money can I make with $15,000? That house that you're buying for $15,000 is $15,000 for a reason. It's because it's in a neighborhood where you don't want to be.
Neither does anybody else.
And neither does anybody else. Exactly. You're going to sit on that $15,000 wreck because you're not going to be able to find anybody who wants to rent it because they don't want to be there either. Understanding a market, understanding the strategies that we use in that market, understanding who we talk to at Section 8, for example, in Cleveland, and if that's our strategy in Cleveland. understanding what we look for property managers, understanding the type of people that we work with as far as real estate agents, the types of loans that we get, understanding everything about that market is the difference between what is going to make you a successful, profitable real estate investor versus buying properties in Cleveland or Rochester or Syracuse or Dallas or anywhere else and saying, I hate this place. It's only been misery for me.
Yep.
The difference is in the knowledge that you have, not just in real estate investing, but the knowledge you have for that particular market. You may be a successful real estate investor in the market where you are investing and you understand, but you go to another market and you want to apply maybe the same strategies because you know what, I've been super profitable with this in my market. Let's go ahead and do this in this hot market because it's going to work there too. It may not necessarily. Strategies are different for each different place that you go. If we're looking at those properties, okay, let's use an example. If somebody's doing flips and they're like, oh, well, let me go to Cleveland and let's do flips. If you're doing flips and you're buying properties for $60,000, let's assume that it needs work. Let's assume that it needs 20% worth of value in work. Okay, you're going to flip this property. What are you making on these flips? You're holding it for 3 months, 4 months before you sell it. What is your profit on this? Your percentages might be good, but what is your actual profit? And again, that's if you can find those particular deals in Cleveland. I'm not saying don't look for a property that needs work. We can put work into a property, but keep it, put Section 8 tenants in it. Understanding
it's where the real money
those nuances. Yeah, understanding those nuances are what's going to make you successful. You could do flips in Cleveland, but you're going to be working a lot harder doing those flips in Cleveland than you will someplace else.
It is break time, sir.
It is break time. I was thinking you might have some final thoughts before we went into break.
We'll jump into the break since we're a tad over, and we'll come back. And
all right, and we'll see you guys
in market evaluation.
Just a minute. GuaranteedMillionaireBlueprint.com. That's GuaranteedMillionaireBlueprint.com. You owe it to yourself to go there and check it out. If you are ready to become a real estate investor millionaire, like $1 million profit cash flow in your pocket every single year or more, GuaranteedMillionaireBlueprint.com. While you're there, check out the guarantee. Yeah, that's right. There is a guarantee that if you take this program and you follow what you learn in this program, you will become a millionaire. In fact, I'm going to return double your tuition back if this program doesn't make you a millionaire. Check it out. GuaranteedMillionaireBlueprint.com. That's GuaranteedMillionaireBlueprint.com. Once a month, with the exception of December, Bill and I go to markets where we have experience and we host a real estate buyers event. These are markets that have great return potential for your real estate portfolio. We're going to show you the properties that we buy. We're going to show you where to buy, where not to buy, the strategies to use to make great income from these properties. We're also going to show you resources and individuals here on the ground that you can use to start building your team so that you can repeat this process over and over. The real estate buyers events are designed to put high-performing properties in your portfolio right away. If you're interested in hearing more about the Real Estate Buyers Event, realestatebuyersevent.com. That's realestatebuyersevent.com. Read more about the events, check out the schedule, and register. We'll see you there. And we are back, and the point we're trying to make today in our convoluted roundabout way is don't jump in with both feet into a market or into a strategy that you don't understand. There are so many ways to learn. One of the ways, okay, is go to the Investor Guys podcast, find out where we're going to be doing real estate buyers events. We do real estate buyers events in markets where we have real life actual experience, where we have the resources, where we are going to take you and lead you by the hand and show you everything about that particular market so that you can continue to repeat those processes and and make money in that market. Now, you don't have to come to Bill and I to do that. You can go and you can do your own research. You can go to those markets. You can find people who are familiar with those markets, and you can, learn about it that way as well. But do not just jump in with both feet because you heard that such and such was a great market. Understand why that particular market is a good market. Understand the strategies that work best in that particular market. I'm going to need another quick example, and then I'm going to turn it over to you, Bill. I love Section 8 in Cleveland. I love Section 8 in Rochester. We talked about Rochester last week. I love Section 8 in Syracuse. I love Section 8 in Buffalo. I love Section 8 in other cities as well. I don't do Section 8 where I live. I live in Florida. Okay. Most of my properties in Florida are vacation properties. My focus in Florida is vacation properties because I'm going to make more money on vacation properties in Florida than I'm going to make on Section 8. I'm going to make more money on Section 8 in Cleveland, Rochester, Syracuse, and Buffalo than I'm going to make on vacation properties. Different strategies for different places. Understanding that is absolutely key before you go ahead and you start investing in a market just because Kevin or Bill or anybody else told you that it was a hot market.
Yep.
Done preaching.
That evaluating a market from a standpoint of what's central to success in that market becomes crucial. So one of the shows we did 8 or 10 shows ago, I had a list from Forbes of the top 10 markets to invest in, and they had 5 different criteria. So they had a different top 10 list for each one of that criteria. And so we went through those. So when you start looking at different markets, like right now, also understand where your specific skill set may be. If I was a builder right now, I'm not. If I was a builder right now, I'd be going, how do I find land to build on in Boise? Why? Because Boise is insane right now. Prices have gone up 50% over the last year. So I know that I could flip a property incredibly fast, but from a flip standpoint, there's nothing to flip because they have no inventory. So if I'm a builder, I'm looking at, hey, I may have to go outside of city limits, but people, if you live in a major metropolitan area, you understand people drive. I have friends that drive what I consider insane distances every single day, and they don't think anything about it. And a lot of it is that's what they would rather have, a nicer property and drive a little further than be closer and not be able to get as nice a neighborhood or a nice a school system or as nice a house because of the pricing. And so they drive, and that's very attractive for a ton of people, and it happens in every single market out there. So I would be looking at getting outside of Boise, maybe Meridian, whatever. I would look outside, because when you have a market that is just that hot, and it's multiple types of hot, the difference in pricing, we talked about that, the difference in the supply available in the market. It happens to be a capital city. It happens to have a university. I mean, it's got, right now, it may be from a city, not a state standpoint, but from a city standpoint, single hottest city in the country. It has everything in the world going for it right now. I'd love to get a builder and hop in and buy some lots and build some property there, because you couldn't build them fast enough. So you got to look at those things. So I can go to something like the National Association of Realtors.com, and if you look in the news section, you can find some interesting information about different markets. And you want to do that so that you can't lock yourself in, because if you do, you lock your profit and your opportunity in. You want to be available in other markets. Now, look, I wrote a national bestseller called Are You Dumb Enough to Be Rich? The first edition came out in 2003. Amicom, who was the publisher, came back to me 5 years later and said, we'd like for you to do a second edition of the book. So a second edition is in the literary world is at least 20% or more new words, guys. So you got to have, you don't have to add 20%, but you got to change at least 20% to be able to call it a second edition. I did a second edition. It became a national bestseller. In both of those books, I said, hang 20 miles to 30 miles from where you live as you get started. And a lot of people accepted that as this is a hard and fast rule. Bill's saying, don't go any further than 30 miles away from where you live. And I'm like, no, I said that as you get started, because if something's going wrong, you want to be able to get to a property quickly because you don't know the things that can go wrong yet because you're brand new. And unless you have somebody like Kevin and I that are consulting with you on your investments, a lot of things are going to pop up. Oh,
and I lost Bill.
If it's close, you're going to be able to do well. If it's not, you got an expensive problem on your hands. So I'm going to say, check your market out. See what's working for that market. Does it fit my skill set? If it does, then I want to go deeper on looking and evaluating that market. And then at some point, I've got to make a decision. Am I in the market, out of the market? And if I'm in, let's go get something.
And Bill brought up another good point too. Let's talk about Boise and building in Boise. If you've never built a property before, if you're not familiar with what goes into that, don't just run to Boise and start looking for lots to build a property on. You have to understand that from the time you purchase that lot and you close on that lot to the time you actually have a house that's going to be built, if that happens inside of a year, you're lucky. It's probably going to happen a lot longer than that. So unless you're in a position where you can stand and sit on all that money and that investment for a year before you get a return, that's probably not a strategy you want to do. Don't just jump into Boise as a builder unless you know what you're getting into. Absolutely. As a builder and someone who's built houses before and who's still building houses, I love that as a strategy. I love infill lots. I love developments. Okay. But unless you know what you're getting into, don't just jump into it. You need to understand what you're getting into as far as strategies, what you're getting into as far as the market. So that is our point. We give you lots of tips. We give you lots of ideas. We tell you what we're doing. We tell you where we're going. We talked about hot markets a few weeks ago. Again, though, don't just jump in with both feet. I would hate to hear about how somebody went to one of these markets that Bill and I were talking about and they invested and they failed because they didn't know what they were doing other than just hearing us talk about it and not knowing all the nuances that go into that specific strategy in that specific market.
Right.
So,
hey, we're way past it as usual, and we appreciate you guys hanging with us and being here on Show 99. Drum roll.
Yes, drum roll for Show 99. And real quick, as we mentioned at the top of the show, join us on our next show. That's going to be this Thursday. So 2 days from today, right after the show, we're going to do a special Facebook Live. If you guys want to learn specifics about markets where Bill and I invest, okay, we actually go to specific markets. You can find it at realestatebuyersevent.com. Realestatebuyersevent.com. It is also at investorguyspodcast.com. The dates that we are going to be there and the different places that we go. Get signed up so that you can join us. We're actually going to be there holding your hand. And you know what? Something else I want to talk to you about, Bill, and I'll go ahead and do it right here while we're on the air. Normally we do 4 days for the buyers event. I'm thinking we should add an additional day because 1 day out in the buses, boots on the ground, is not enough to see all the properties that people have selected to see. So I think we should probably spend 2 days on the ground looking at properties, making offers on properties. Our buyers events are geared towards you purchasing properties, performing properties the same as Bill and I do at these markets and putting them into your portfolio. They're not properties that Bill and I own. They're not properties that we're wholesaling. They're not properties that we have any interest in whatsoever. We show you how to find these properties so that you can keep doing it over and over and over again. I think we need to spend 2 days on the ground moving forward. So it's going to be 3 days of education and finding properties, and 2 days on the ground in the buses, looking at properties, making offers on properties. So when you look at those events at real estate buyer's-event.com, realestatebuyersevent.com, and investorguyspodcast.com. If I haven't added those additional dates, I will be adding those additional dates. So add one more day to the end of each one of those, and we're going to do 5 days instead of 4 days. Thank you for joining us. We will see you guys on Thursday for show 100. Yes. Thank you for joining us. Happy investing.
Take care, everybody.